to Leave Me Alone. I'm working on it. My name is Cassie
Oh,
J.
I'm Aure. I was getting ready for you to start singing, but that didn't
Oh,
happen.
okay. It's okay. We can totally make that happen.
No, you
Leave
missed
me
it.
alone. I'm working on it. Leave me alone. I'm working on it.
I don't even know where to come in. Uh,
Da-da-da-da,
now you just sound like staying alive, staying alive, staying
uh.
alive. That's what it
Which is
sounded like to
also
me.
accurate.
It really is, though, isn't it? You just hit a certain point in your life where
I'm
and for everyone it seems like being in their 30s is that point where you're just so focused on
listen,
staying alive.
let's
You
just
know?
get through today
Let's just get
and
through
see what
today.
else happens
You
another
know?
time.
It's like, can I just get through today to bedtime? For me, when I know I've survived the days when it's bedtime. Like,
Yeah.
not
And
because
there's
I'm
that
going to go to
moment.
sleep, but
Yeah.
it's just like a
There's that moment
downtime.
when you take a really hot shower, like a
Oh,
hot shower.
oh,
And then you moisturize, your skin is feeling great, you're feeling clean. And then that moment when you sink into bed. Ooh, ooh,
clean
that is
sheets.
a
Clean
prime
sheets and a
moment.
properly laid bed. Oh my
That
goodness.
is a prime moment.
Can you tell that Cassie and I are old? This is what excites
Correct.
us now. This
Correct.
is what
So old.
excites us.
So old. So I went out with some friends last night, and fully got home at 3 a.m. And I don't want to
Wow.
lie. Oh, because I texted you as well. I
Yeah,
texted you at
I
about
was
3
like,
a.m.
why is
Yeah.
this one awake?
And got home at 3 a.m. It has been a while since I got home at 3 o'clock in the morning. But it was so fun and it was so good. And we drank wine and we sang karaoke and we talked about our lives. It was beautiful. I just had
That's
so much
nice.
fun. Yeah,
That's nice.
it was
I
really nice.
like
And
that
like
you're saying it's sorry, you go.
no, you go. You
I
like what
like
I'm saying about it?
that you're saying that it's been a while since you got home at 3 a.m. It's been a while since I even saw 3 a.m. Passed out. You see that 9:30
Dead.
is approaching? I'm like, bedtime's coming.
Dead
Bedtime's
to the world.
coming.
Yeah, and my phone tells me it's like 9 o'clock, time for bed, and I'm like, I agree, and I'm so it's my favorite notification of the day.
Same, but mine
But
comes on at 10.
at 10, mine's nine
Mm.
o'clock. Mine's like 9 o'clock, time to wind down, babes, wind down. Um, so yeah, so I went out last night with two of my oldest friends, okay,
Oh,
Norgie and Roxy. Oldest friends. Like literally I've known Norgie since I was 9 years old. Nine.
wow.
9 years old. And I'm now 33. I'm not going to attempt to do the maths because my brain doesn't work like that anymore. A long time, okay?
But it's a
And Roxy I've
lifetime in
known
between those two numbers.
yeah, correct. And Roxy, I've known since we were 12. So not that, not that much difference between the ages.
Mm.
But these are two of my oldest friends. And like last night was just so wholesome and it was so beautiful that to reflect on the challenges that we're going through now, the
Mm.
things that we're trying to overcome, and also just reflecting on how far we've come, and the things that we've been able to do. And at one point, I think Nornji looked around the table, there's three of us, but like looked at us and was just like, guys, like we're doing pretty good. Like like yes, life has had its like issues and its challenges and we've struggled here and there, but like if
Yeah.
you if you think about it, we've come really far. And it just was so beautiful to sit and reflect with these friends that I've known since we were children right through to adulthood. And I just feel
Yeah.
so blessed and so lucky to be adults who have this close of a connection and this close of a friendship, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
and it
lucky
got
that you
me,
still have that.
yeah, yeah, it is lucky. And I think you and I have spoken about this a little bit, but like adult friendships are so difficult. Like they're so hard. They're hard to maintain, they're hard to start. And sometimes when it needs to happen, they're hard to end. Like they're difficult to
Yeah.
pull the plug on. But it got me thinking about like the friends I've lost along this journey, child Cassie through to today. And I wanted us to chat today about friendship breakups. Okay. And I think it's an important thing to discuss because when I break up with my boyfriend, right, everybody knows what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
your
Yeah,
girlfriends are there, they are with you. They're like, okay, we're gonna get you the ice cream. We're gonna, like, if you want to lock yourself in a room for a couple of days, you need to cry, here are the tissues. This is the drill. We're gonna go change your hair. We're gonna go get a new degree. We're gonna go improve ourselves in some way, shape, or form. Like
yeah.
there's a formula. We step into that role. Our friends know how to step into that role to support us. But the breakups that we don't have a formula card for, the friendships, the breakups that we don't actually spend enough time talking about are friendship breakups. So
Mm.
that's what I want to chat about today, Orion.
I mean, you said friendship breakups, and I got a little tear in my eye.
Oh,
That's
sad.
I'm just
Don't
because
cry.
no, you were like, I'm thinking about all of the friends that I've lost, and I'm like, girl, same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not a fun experience. To be very honest
Mm.
with you, there have been some friendship breakups that have rocked you more than like a relationship breakup. Like
This
losing
is
that
exactly the
girlfriend
first thing I want to talk
has
about.
been worse than than when you actually broke up with someone you were
One
in love with.
1000%. If I look at the boys that I've broken up with versus the friends that I've broken up with, I, in my mind, yes, the boys have been sore, but the girls, it has rocked my core.
Yeah, yeah.
It has been so, so painful.
It is
And
painful.
I think the first question that I want us to unpack is why? Why is it so painful when we break up with our girlfriends in a sense that it's more painful in a way than a romantic breakup?
I think it depends on the romantic breakup though. Like for because I think it's more about the person and the relationship and the depth of the relationship you had with the person
Yeah.
than it is about the label. Does that make sense?
Mm,
So
mm,
it's not really about whether it was your boyfriend or it was just your homegirl. It's more the
mm.
how deep was your connection with that
How deep was the
person?
connection?
How
Mm.
deep was that connection? Because if you have a boyfriend you've dated for a couple months and things are good and you like each other and you can maybe possibly, if you squint really hard, see a future, but then you've got like a homegirl who like gets you, understands you, who you can
Yeah.
1000% be yourself with, who's your safe space, who sometimes you don't even need to communicate in words with,
Yeah.
and I think that that connection for you is probably stronger where if
Yeah.
something's happening or falling apart in your world, that's the safe space you run to. Can you imagine losing
Immediately.
that? Because
Mm.
then when you lose the person that's your safe space, where do you run to? So I feel like it's more about the connection, the strength of the connection is maybe what
Mm.
makes it worse.
Mm, mm.
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think there's strength of the connection. I also think that your friends are people, if you're lucky, okay? And
Mhm.
I'm not talking the friend that you like met at the gym yesterday and you guys are like going for coffee
No.
next week. Like I'm talking about your people. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking about your tribe, like your
Mm.
your
Your inner
almost blood,
circle. Yeah.
your inner circle.
Yeah.
Um I think the thing is, and we've joked about this on the podcast, but your friends are the ones who've known you the longest and
Mm.
who really know you. Like
Mm.
they know what is your deepest insecurity. They know what that
Mm.
is. Your
Mm.
deepest hurt, your deepest pain, what
Mm.
brings you joy, what you're good at, what you're, like what your family struggles are, what your like they know you so much better than probably like most people who should know you better do. Do you know what I mean? Like I saw a meme, it was so funny. It was oh no, it wasn't a meme, it was a TikTok. I saw this TikTok of like someone was doing a skit of like who knows the bride best,
Mm. Mm.
And there was like an issue in the one skit in the skit the one guy's like I'm literally about to marry her. Like, I feel like I know her best. And then the mom is like, she came out of me. Like, I know
Uh,
her best. And then there's the best friend in the corner that's just like, yeah. Like, you guys, you guys aren't even, we're not even playing the same game here, you know? And
yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that it's because of that depth of knowledge and understanding and the length of time they've watched you grow, that when stuff like that, when it breaks up, when it falls apart, it's that much more painful because you're, to your point, the connection is just so, so, so deep.
Yeah, you've had years to build on it. They've seen you at all of the different phases of your life. You know, they've seen you
Yeah.
succeed and they've seen you fail. They've seen you with all kinds of different men in all kinds of different relationships. They've seen you do dumb
Yeah.
things. They've seen you do smart things. They've had to
Yeah.
pull you off a ledge many times, you know? So
Yes.
like you can't pretend, you can't form like you have your life together. They're just like, girl, I know you. I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
you are a tiny you are let me I saw this thing somewhere and I can't remember where I saw it. The person was like, you are one drink away from a complete chaos. Like just it all it's gonna take right now to push you completely out of world is one tiny thing. They're the people who know this about you, you know? So yes, it's always going to be extremely painful. There's no there's no getting around that.
Yeah.
You're gonna go into mourning for this
Yeah.
relationship.
And I think again, because the connection is so deep, one of the reasons I feel like it hurts is because in a way they're a part of you. And so to break away is to lose a part of yourself is gone with this person. And that's why
Yeah.
it's just so painful.
But
It's so
isn't that
painful.
how any good relationship that's had time to build over the years actually is?
Yeah.
Because like I reckon that's why divorces are so hectic because
Mm,
this is a merging of lives. You know,
mm,
they have
mm,
become a part of you. Like you've
mm.
shared everything together. Now you must separate and split hairs literally because now it's so
But I
intertwined.
think, yeah, you know what? I think you've actually touched on something, sorry, that sparked a thought in my mind. Um, the reason why romantic breakups or marital breakups or whatever are um are understood is because you kind of almost enter into an
An
agreement. There's
agreement.
a contractual something.
Yeah.
Like if you get
Mhm.
married, you physically sign a piece of paper that says, I am married to you, and what is yours is now mine, and what is mine is now yours, and all the rest of that. So when
That's
that breaks
not how it
apart,
works, but okay.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But like when that breaks apart, it is a dissolution of an agreement, you know? And
Yeah.
the same, even if it's not a marriage, it's, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, it's this thing. And people have so much more understanding of that. But when it comes to
Mm,
friends, there's
mm.
no, there's, there's no formal agreement that was like, we are now friends forever and ever. Amen. And then when we
I
break up,
mean,
it like,
some people have
it
those.
dissolutes. Yeah, no, no. And
Didn't you guys
that,
go through like that
those are
phase when you were kids where people had like blood pacts or
oh my
like
gosh, we really did. It
you
was
see
actually
people
pretty scary.
it was very scary.
Really
Like
dumb,
they'd
really
cut
dumb.
themselves and
Yes, and then you would like rub it together and be blood
yeah.
sisters.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so weird. I
god.
never did it. I never
I
did it,
never
but I
did it.
watched it happen, and I was like, I get
Did
it,
I
but
do
this is
it?
a lot.
I don't think I did it. I mean, Kid Ore was not the smartest, but I think that I was smart enough to not mix blood with anybody.
I remember like definitely being like, I want to be a part of this, but I have many questions about if this is the right way to go about it. But yeah, so when a friendship breaks up, like I think people are also just like, but what ties did you have to each other really? Like, just get over it. Like they were in your life, now they're not in your life. Okay, fine.
No, of course not. You have
No,
ties.
of course, I know. But what I'm saying is that the difference between a friendship and a marriage, for
Mm,
example, you
mm.
know, is this kind of agreement, like formal agreement that existed. And so when that breaks apart, we understand why it's sore and why it's difficult and why it's hard. It's still equally as sore and difficult and hard when it's a friend, but the foundation is a little bit shaky. It's a little bit weirder.
Hmm. I feel like it's only people who haven't experienced that kind of tight bond with someone they're not
Mm,
romantically involved with that will
mm,
question how sore a friendship breakup is. Like if someone's
mm,
saying this thing to me, I'm like, girl, I got you. I understand because I've gone through
mm,
it, you know, and I've seen
mm,
friends go through it. So I don't question it. But I understand what
mm.
you're saying. Like it's difficult for you to explain to someone that, oh, I I broke up with my friend. Cause like it's not even a thing. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, but she was your friend. Move on. You've got other friends. And
Yeah.
like, if
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
said this or if she did that to you, then is she really even your friend? And even you and I have sometimes said this thing, like we'll be reading a story or we'll hear something and we'll be like, oh, she did what to you? That is not your friend. That's
That's
not your
not your
person.
friend.
You
That's
know, but
not
we
your
don't even
person.
know the history and how hard it is that you're actually now going
Yeah.
through a breakup because of
Yeah.
something that's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So it's easy to
For sure.
trivialize it, but you're right. It's
Mm.
Yo, it's
It's tough.
rough.
So if we unpack, like, I think, because as I was thinking about like friendship breakups as well, I feel like there's two different kinds of friendship breakups.
Okay.
I've experienced both of these kinds of friendship breakups.
Uh-huh.
Both of them suck. Like, but there's no easy way to like end a friendship. But I feel
Yeah.
like there's one that it's like the slow burn where it just slowly fades,
Disintegrates, okay. Mm.
right? So you're basically like, I don't know, you used to call each other, once every day, and then it became 3 times a week, and then it became once a week, and then it became once a month, and then it became once a year, and then it slowly just like falls apart because life has happened. And then suddenly you wake up or you'll see a post on Instagram of this person and you're like, I actually just don't know that I'm still involved in this person's life anymore. Like, I don't know that we're still connected. I realize
But
now that I don't know you as well as I knew you but once before.
but is that a friendship breakup or is that just life?
That's life, but it's still like, I think it can still be sore when you hit that moment of realization where it was like, gosh, me and this person actually used to be so close. Yes, it's maybe just a different kind of pain. Life has gotten in the way. Life has happened, and we've drifted. But when I think back and I go, sure, but we had really good times, it's like I'm remembering that
Yeah, but
fondly, and I'm sad I now don't have that.
there's nothing stopping you from rekindling that friendship or reaching out or hanging out or doing whatever. Like nothing happened. Life just happened to you both and
Fair.
pulled you in different directions,
Yeah.
right?
Fair,
So it's
fair.
not like
You're
you had
not
a
wrong.
blowout. Because one of the things that, and maybe that's why for me it's a little bit different. Growing up, one of the things, it's weird that he used to say this to me. My mom used to say this to me as well. But it's weird that it was something they repeated so often to me is that, and it's I don't know if it's a saying, a proverb, I don't know where it's from, but you've heard this thing about 20 friends not being able to play together for 20 years. You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
And I
I
grew
heard it from
up.
you. You said this
Did
to
you?
me. Yeah.
Oh,
Right
well,
before chaos ensued. So
well,
it was
um,
more like a premonition than anything
it's how
else.
I was raised. 20 friends can't play together for 20 years. And
Yeah.
it doesn't always mean that it's because they had like a big blowout or they fought or
Fair.
something went wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
this, and especially with the way the world is today, this person moved to Australia, this person moved to Jamaica, this person got married and has kids and is juggling all of that. This person is now CEO of a Fortune 500 and doesn't even have time to breathe. Like life will pull you all in different directions. And
Mm.
sometimes of the
Mm.
20, all you've got left is two people who are still in touch,
Mm.
but it doesn't necessarily mean like we can never be friends again. So for me, that one's not as hurtful
Yeah. Mm.
versus
For me, I think it's more like a lingering ache. I don't know.
so
It's like
reach out.
yeah, fair. You could reach out, but I mean, there's a reason we drifted apart to begin with. Like, yes, I could reach, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, right? I could reach out and I probably should reach out and that kind of thing. But I'm also like, we're now different people. Like our lives have moved so far apart from each other. It's like, would we even still be friends now? Even if I reached out, I could reach out and it would still be in goodwill and it would be friendly and it would be
Mm,
amicable. But like, are we ever really going to get back to
what
what
we
we
had.
were? Like there was
Yeah.
a reason we drifted apart. There was a reason
Yeah.
things ended up the way that they did. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. That one is life. It happens, you know?
But it can still
Um,
be
but
sore.
it's still
I
be a
get you.
sore. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
my friend, I don't know. I can never think of names in the
Honestly,
moment.
this happened to me today, this morning. Um, I I know you've heard about Liam Payne passing. You've seen it, right?
Sad.
I know.
So sad.
I was like, I'm not gonna talk about it because, you know, sad. Why? But then I was reading something that his look, I'm struggling to keep track. Ex-fiance, ex-girlfriend, one of the exes
Mm,
said something.
mm,
Um,
mm.
and
I did see this as well.
it triggered a memory for me, like from my past, where I'd had someone who'd also really needed help, but wasn't communicating it properly. And it was just
Mm,
a messy time. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I haven't thought about this guy in years. I barely
sure.
even remembered his name. I remembered his nickname. I was like,
Sure.
and we were friendly, we were close. And this was like, we met just before I started university. We were doing pre-degree. I don't know where this guy is. I don't know what he's doing. I have not seen, spoken to, heard from, nothing
Mm,
in like, shoot, maybe 8 years.
mm.
It's been a really long time. And it suddenly just triggered. And then I go into my contact. I'm like, do I even still have his number? Nope.
Have his number.
Don't have it. Don't have it. And I don't know if he was never like a social media person or if we just weren't following. Like I've no nothing. And you're right. I thought about it and I was like, gosh, I wonder if he's doing okay. I wonder where he
How is
is.
he? Where is
Like,
he?
yeah,
Yeah. You
you're
know, it
not wrong.
yeah, it makes you sad. You're like,
It
we used to be so
does.
close. What happened? How did it happen? Sure, yeah.
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 Okay. 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 So life
Um,
happens. That's breakup
life
type
happens.
one.
That's
What's
breakup
two?
type one. Breakup type two is the one we know, the one where the door suddenly slams shut in your face and you're just like, whoa. Like, what is happening? How did we
Yeah.
get here? Maybe there's an argument. Maybe there's, a miscommunication that gets blown out of proportion. Maybe something truly, truly goes wrong. Like someone has honestly made an unforgivable mistake, you know? Um, and then suddenly, like, it's just cut. Like the cord is cut. One clean sweep. Done. Done Zetos. This one is definitely significantly more painful than the first one we've discussed. Um, but yeah,
This one will rock you.
rock you,
But
rock you.
Cass,
Mm.
what is an unforgivable English unforgivable mistake for you?
I will. No, they are unforgivable mistakes.
I know I'm
Let me
asking you
rephrase. Let me
personally.
rephrase. Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you. Don't worry. I'm gonna tell you. Let me rephrase. Maybe unforgivable is not the right term because I'm definitely someone who believes in forgiveness, and forgiveness is important, not only for the other person, but for your own mental health, heart health, etc. It's important to
Mhm.
forgive. But it doesn't mean we don't believe in forgive and forget. Okay. We
That's where
don't
I was
believe in
gonna go.
that.
I believe in
Okay.
forgiveness. I don't believe in forgetting. I'm
I believe in fully
sorry.
believe in forgiveness. I don't believe in forgetting. And so for me, like something unforgivable, like is um I sleep with your husband.
Why would you? Why?
Okay.
There's a
Also, it would never happen.
plethora of men out there.
It would
Why
never
would you?
happen.
Why is this
But
the one
exactly.
person that you're now deciding is like
But
why?
this is exactly my point. Because we are friends, it
Mm.
shouldn't even be within the realm of possibility.
Oh my god. But imagine this scenario where You met him
I feel like
first.
I feel like you're having way too much fun with this.
Imagine you met him first and you liked him,
Okay.
but he didn't
Okay.
particularly like you back in that way. And then he meets your friend who he now likes and she likes him back. And now happily ever after is on the horizon. But you've been carrying, as they say, carrying water for this man from since before he belonged to your friend.
But does my friend know?
Haibo, what difference does it make whether she knows or not?
No. Does my friend know that I am deeply in love with this person, that I have like had been carrying water for them? I'm gonna borrow your terms. Guys, I'm going to become Nigerianized. It is my
Oh, no,
goal in
no, no.
life.
Carrying
But
water is
like,
not Nigerian. I don't even
oh
know
no,
where I
it's
heard that.
not.
That's not.
Then it must be Nigerian. I'm attributing it to you guys because you guys are great. If we really are that close, you're my friend. I would have come to you and I've been like, oh my gosh, I have the biggest crush on Michael. Michael is so great. He's so hot. Like, he's such a nice guy. Like, I'm in love. We would have discussed
Yeah,
if you're my friend, right?
we
So
would.
you'd be like, oh gosh, hey, that's so great, you and Michael. My expectation of you is if you meet Michael, why are you making a move on Michael?
You're not
Why?
making a move on Michael. Michael and you are both sucked into this thing because Michael and you are meant to be. Like it's not, and because I've heard these stories where you meet someone your friend likes who didn't like her back, and we all knew that like he wasn't making moves on her or anything, and so they became friends, but she's in love with him, and then he's now in love with you, and you're in love with him, but the two of you are fighting it because you're like, I must be loyal to my homegirl, like I'm not gonna do this thing,
But
but then the
I'm
friend
in
is
love
like,
with him.
and he's not in love with you, but me and him
Okay,
are in love.
look,
It's a
here's
complicated
the thing.
situation.
It is a complicated situation. I think this is too nuanced. I think there's a part of me that's just like, because I- in my mind, I'm also going like, I don't want to stand in the way of true love. Am I sore?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sore. It fucking sucks. Okay. But like it's my
Here come the
friend
curse
and I
words.
love her and yeah, sorry. It's my friend and I love her and I was keen on the guy. It didn't work out. If that conversation has happened and then they connect, I'm not going to lie and say that I won't feel some type of way, but I hope, because I've not been in this situation, so I don't know. But like to think that I would be like, this really hurts me, but you guys look like you're really in love. So cool. Go for it. Live your best.
I would be present up until the wedding. Like I will be there
Wow.
for you up until the wedding. But the moment they get married, that is a friendship breakup that I will initiate. I'm breaking up with both of them.
Ooh.
I can't be around
Okay.
someone I'm in love with who's not in love with me, who's in love with my best
Fair.
friend.
Yeah.
And I can't be around my
Yeah.
best friend who's got the life that I want. So for peace to
Ooh.
reign and for there to be no mistakes or accidents and for me to be able to heal and move on, I'm your girl till the wedding. You walk down that aisle, we have the party, we toast, you throw your bouquet, I'm out. We are breaking up. I'm not doing this for the rest of my life.
Wow.
That is a friendship breakup I will get behind. I'm serious. I will
Wow.
get
Okay.
behind it because why am I punishing myself? Now I must just
Why am I punishing myself? Why am
be
I
here
hurting
for your
myself?
happily ever after. Meanwhile, I'm still in love with your husband and I need to be a decent friend. I, out. I can't do it. I can't do it. For me,
I'm
that friendship
thinking.
breakup would be less sore than me hanging around.
Fair. That I fully see that. I fully see that. I think for me, timeline here would be very, very important. The
Mm,
timeline of activities. So
right.
I'm in love with him, okay? I
Mm-hmm.
learn that he's not in love with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grieve that process. We
Mm-hmm.
decide to be friends. You
Mm-hmm.
meet my friend and you guys fall in love. I feel like I'd be more okay in that
Mm-hmm.
timeline of events
Mm-hmm.
than if I fall in love with him, I'm deeply in love with him, he meets my friend, and they then start to canoodle while she knows I'm in love with him.
No. Yeah.
And like, do you know what I mean? Like in that
Yeah.
case, I'd be like, girl, like WTF, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
not
Of
cool.
course.
But in that
Yeah.
first timeline, I think I'd have a little bit more closure. I'd have a little bit more peace.
So you'd stick
Not saying it
around?
wouldn't hurt. I probably, so this is actually what I was going to ask you. Like, would it be for me? I don't know that it would be a clean friendship breakup, but it would definitely be a pullback. Like,
Mm.
I don't see myself like being there for you at the drop of a hat when you need me, that kind of thing, because it would be too hard, you know?
Mm.
But I'm not going to, like, in truth, in that first timeline, this is now for me to heal and process from.
Mm.
So, in order for me to do that, I'm going to probably pull back. In the tier of friendships, you'd probably move out a tier from inner circle to outer circle.
Mm. I think my worry with that is that you will come across as well. There is a possibility for you to come across as half-assing the friendship. Like she still thinks you're gonna be there
Fair.
for her, but
Fair, fair,
now
fair, fair,
you're
fair.
pregnant. Girl, I'm not gonna be there for this. You've had a
Fair.
baby. I'm not
Yeah.
coming to your home for this. And then
Yeah.
it feels like you're dragging out the situation and then it becomes a whole thing because she thinks her friend should be there. Now she's upset like you're not being her friend. Now she thinks maybe you're jealous. Like for me, and honestly, this is something I
A
learned from
cleaner
someone,
break.
a
It's
clean
just
break.
break.
I think that
Just
we
break it
get
off.
very sentimental about friendship breakups. We often don't
Mm.
prolong romantic breakups as much. We're like, it's not
Mm.
working, or he
But yeah, I'm
cheated,
with
or
you.
he whatever.
Mm.
Sometimes we do. But for the
Mm.
most part, we're like, we broke up. But with
Mm.
friendship breakups, we just do this thing where we're kind of tiptoeing
That's
backwards
so
as
true.
opposed to a clean break.
Yeah, you know what? You're actually really right on that. With friendship breakups, you're right. Like it feels for some whatever odd reason more gray. Like
Mm.
instead of just black and white, this is weird, this is awkward, let's walk away from this
Let's break
situation.
up.
You're right.
Yeah.
We tiptoe around it. We like, and that actually ends up hurting more.
It
Like
hurts
so much
more.
more.
Yeah, it hurts
Um
more.
so much more. And I think like for me, story time. Um
I've been waiting
I
for story time.
story time. I was also like very very close to someone, and we spent like for years, over a course of years, we developed a really really good friendship.
Mm,
We spent a lot of time together, we hung out together, we traveled together, we
mhm,
did so much together. We also were very open and vulnerable with each
mm,
other about our lives, our stories, the things that had happened to us, etc. Um,
mm,
and for me, what happened was what felt like completely out of the blue for me, the rug was pulled out from under my feet in terms of our friendship. So
mm,
what happened was she had a moment in her life that was very
mm,
difficult for her to process.
mm,
And as someone who I considered very close to me, I leant in and I pressed into the friend role. I was there for her. I drove her where she needed to be driven. I sat with her. I talked through her options with her. We discussed this. We connected with people who could help, etc., etc. And then just went dead quiet.
mm,
Like I'm sending texts, I'm not getting a reply. I'm calling, like I'm not getting phone calls back. And
mm.
I got to a point where I was like, maybe within all of the people who were friends, etc., like I thought to myself, okay, maybe she's just needing space. And that's what
Yeah.
I chalked it up to, you know? And so I stayed close, but still wanting to respect the boundary of the space that
Y-
it felt like she
Yeah.
was asking for.
Yeah.
Only for me to then realize that I'm the only one that has been given this boundary.
True friend.
And I
Wait,
was
so
like,
Actually, you know what? Never mind. Keep going.
So I was like, wait, hold up. What is going on? So again, drop her a message. Hey, like, I'm feeling some distance. Is everything okay? Have I
Mm,
done something?
mm.
Like, and I'm really trying to ascertain because you have this moment, and I don't know if you've ever had this, but where I really stop to go like, what did I do? Like,
Yeah,
did I do
always.
something?
Mm.
Did I do something? Did I say something? Did I like have I dropped the ball? And genuinely from a place of like, have I, effed up?
You've
And
done this to me. Where
what?
like you've done this to me as well. Like where life was lifing for me, and you didn't hear from me for like a couple days.
Oh, I
And your
remember
next thing
this.
was like, "Did I do something?
Did
Is
I
it
do
me?
it?
Tell
Are
me
we
what's going
okay?
on." Yeah, and that
Right?
was your
But
question. Are we okay?
are
And
we
I'm
okay? Right? But let's talk about that moment. Actually, I really want to talk about that moment because
like, okay.
I feel like as this generation, we use the word trauma too lightly. Okay. But because of the quote unquote trauma of
Mm,
this friendship breakup,
mm,
it really made me very wary and like concerned
mm.
about like other friendships because I was like, people just need to communicate. Use
Yeah.
your words. Tell me, like, is everything okay? Is everything not okay? Anyway, I'm gonna come back to that. But to wrap up the story. So I'm now asking, I'm not getting replies. I'm asking, I'm not getting replies. I'm trying, I really am trying to figure out. But to this day, and it has been now, I don't know what, like a couple of years, to
Mm,
this day, I still do not know what happened. I still do not know, like, if I did something that upset this person, um, and what it was. I don't
mm,
know if this is something that she was just going through that she just projected maybe onto me.
mm,
I I do not know. Like I do
mm.
not know. But I think coming back to what your point was about, we tiptoe around the issue. We instead of addressing it head on. I remember just saying to her over and over again, like, have I done something? Tell me, like I will fix it. I care enough about you to fix it if I've done something
Yeah.
wrong. Like, but
Yeah.
you have to tell me, you have to use your words. And I got back a very like wishy-washy message that was like, oh, you haven't done anything. I'm not really sure what it even is. Um, and I'll let you know.
Not
Many
helpful.
years, many years have gone by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like really, really, really unhelpful. And I think for me,
Not
this has
yeah.
been, it was a very sore friendship breakup to process, um, because I didn't have any information. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really solving the puzzle, but I've got 50% of the pieces, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really
This
tough.
this is one of those friendship breakups of yours that at least I know about. Like I
Mm,
was somewhat within the process,
mm, mm,
and
mm,
it was rough. And I
mm,
think that a lot of how it played out, whether intentionally or not, was a bit unkind. Um, and I say this as someone who also is extremely conflict averse and will do
mm,
anything to avoid like a blow up. Like this, that's my
mm,
default setting as well.
mm,
Like I would
mm,
rather just pretend, I would rather just walk away from the friendship and the situation than bringing things out into the open and possibly having to go through all of this drama now because we were
mm.
do you know what I mean? So
I
I
fully know
I
what you mean.
I understand well, I possibly because again I don't really know what happened, but I possibly understand where she was coming from, but
Mm,
as someone who's also done something similar, I think it's very hurtful. And I don't think it's the
mm,
right way to handle anything. Which is why I'm
mm,
saying to you, like, I learned this from a mutual friend of ours recently. When she had an
mm,
issue in a friendship, she didn't drag it out. She didn't pretend it didn't exist.
mm,
She didn't clean break. Homegirl said to the friend,
mm.
if this is where you're going with your life, I'm not on this journey with you. I think we should call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
She had a clean break and moved on, which is how I
Yeah.
think we should handle things as adults. If you want to
I think
salvage
so
the
too.
friendship, then have
Yeah.
the conversation and let's go do the back and forth and let's do the
Yeah.
drama of trying to heal and move forward. But there are those friendships where you know it is hit, like this is the end point. Like you know that
Yeah.
this thing that has happened, there is no coming back from it. There's no fixing it.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
that dragging your feet about it or not telling the person or
Mm.
shutting them out and talking to other people that are in your friendship circle except for them, like that's just mean.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Let's talk
It's
about that. And then I'm
it's
hearing on the
mean.
side that, different people are calling me to tell me that this friend who I really, guys, I genuinely considered her such a good and close friend, is now saying all these things to all these people in our periphery circles about me. And some of them came back to me to be like, hey, so I feel really weird about this, but this is what this person has said. It made me uncomfortable. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
And I just was like, this is so weird. Like, this is so weird. So yes, I agree with you. I think that there is, ending anything is gonna suck. Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be sore. Rather rip that proverbial band-aid, okay?
Mhm.
Let the wound heal, than like slowly peel that thing off over several
Yeah.
weeks, days, months, whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm
You
not
know?
good at it, but put on your big girl
Yeah,
pants
yeah,
and break up if
yeah,
you need a breakup,
yeah.
or
Do you
address the issue.
Yeah. In learning from this experience, though, also for me, I do feel that, because I'm also really not conflict. I
Yeah.
don't love a conflict. I don't enjoy it. It's not great, especially if it's about relational and
Yeah.
relational kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but I think my learning from this experience has really been being on the receiving end of that kind of treatment, which was which was, if I'm honest, it was unkind and it
Mm.
was cruel, like it was
Mm.
mean.
Mm.
Like, I never wanted to do that to someone
To
else.
someone else, yeah.
Even if I'm not happy with you, I don't want you to go through that pain. So it has
Yeah.
changed the way I've thought about it. And I'm like, I have become more direct with the
Mm.
people in my world to just kind of
Mm.
say, hey, I really didn't like that. I really didn't appreciate that. Or,
Mm.
and we like, let's talk about it. Like, let's address it,
Let's
Yeah.
No, you're right. Being on the receiving end of that, it sucks. But
Mm,
being someone and I've done this to people. I'm going to be very honest. I have done this not because I wanted to be cruel or to be mean, but I just didn't know
mm,
how else to handle it and I
to manage
didn't
it.
manage it.
Mm,
Because I had this friend a long time ago who, we were probably the most unlikely of friends,
mm,
like we didn't exactly move in the same circles or have the same kinds of friends or interests. I'm very introverted, believe it
mm,
or not. And well, I don't know. She wasn't. I don't think she was anyway. But she had like a lot of girlfriends. She was outgoing, she was trendy. She was in the know. She knew all of the cool kids. I've never been a cool kid in my life. Don't know any of the cool kids.
That's not true. You're a
No.
cool kid.
I mean, now I am because now it's cool to want to stay home and do nothing.
So we keep telling ourselves.
But she was like, and she was friendly and she was nice and she was pretty and she, fashionable, all of the things. And she
Mm,
decided we should be friends. And well, I went along with it because why not? She was a nice person and she was fun. Um, and so we started to build this friendship bit by bit by bit, and we got close, and we'd talk about life, and we talk about God, and we talk about like relationships and stuff, and so we became really good friends. Um,
mm,
and then well, I got married, and then she was engaged to be married. I think I don't even know if the wedding
mm,
had happened at that point in time. Anyway, so we were like kind of in the same life stage,
mm,
and I had something happen in my personal life that I needed help with. And so I reached out and I was like, "Hey,
Mm.
hey girl, I need help. This is the situation, this is what's happening."
Yeah.
And the response I got was so hurtful. Was just so hurtful. It was almost like, "Well, if this thing doesn't happen for you, it's not the end of the world," kind of response.
Sure.
My Nigerian self was just like, "Ha." "You mean you don't wish me well?" Okay. And at that point, I was just like, "This cannot be a thing." Because I would never
Sure.
say what you've said to me to you. I would
Yeah.
never trivialize your problems. I would
Yeah.
do whatever I could. And even if I couldn't do anything, I'd at least support you or comfort you or tell you I'll pray for you or tell you I'll ask
Yeah.
people. Like I'd
Yeah.
find a solution, but you were basically
Yeah.
like, "Well, sorry if it all falls apart." I was so hurt. And I called her out
Sorry.
instantly, which is not something I do, but I called her out
Mm.
instantly because I was just like, "What do you mean by this? You know, why
What's
would she
going
say
on?
something
Yeah.
so cruel?" And she was like, "Well, yeah, she didn't mean it like that." Anyway, so we go through this thing where she says she's sorry and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, cool." And then we sort of move on. And then something the same thing, but like the situation has evolved now. There's a little bit of a fix, but I need
Yeah.
further help. And so I
Yeah.
go back to you. This is like a couple months later.
Yeah.
Again, completely rocked me with the response. And this happened to
Yeah.
me 3 times. 3 times,
Sure.
guys. 3 times. And at that point, I was like, "Do you know what? It's okay. Maybe
It's
you don't
okay.
wanna be friends anymore. Maybe you're tired of me. Maybe you don't maybe I'm
Yeah.
asking for too much. Maybe we don't have the kind of friendship I thought we had where
Yeah.
I don't know, it felt very one-sided." Anyway, I
Mm.
moved on and then she realized that I had pulled away and was like, "Oh, you can't pull away. We're
Mm.
friends for life and da 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 da." And I was
Mm.
just like, "No, we're not." I didn't say it to her, but that's what I should have done
Mm.
because I
Mm.
spent the next 1 year dodging bullets. You know how in Game of Thrones we were
Yeah.
telling Rickon, "You gotta swerve, my man. Don't run
Gotta
straight.
zigzag, zigzag,
Zigzag."
recon.
That was me zigzagging for like the next 1 year, dodging calls, dodging texts, dodging her wanting to visit, just dodging, dodging, dodging. Meanwhile, I should have just been like, This is
Rip the
it."
band-aid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
done something similar to her. Like now we don't talk,
Mm.
but that was because I
Mm.
just kept moving backwards until
Taking steps backwards. Yeah.
until
Sure.
it so
I
it's
mean,
difficult on both ends, but I think from
mm,
your point, when you've been on the receiving end of that behavior
sure.
and you
Yeah.
see how sore it is, it
Mm.
definitely does help reframe your mind and your mentality on how to end friendships because you're like, "This
Yeah.
thing was so sore, I never want to do it to someone else."
Never want to do this to someone else. Yeah,
And I'm
for sure.
sorry to all the people I've done this to.
And I also don't want to pretend like I haven't in my like non being confrontational, I'm have done this to people as well, you know. So
Yeah.
I've been the perpetrator and I've been the receiver, and it sucks. Like
Mm.
it's just awful. And honestly, in my situation, all I would have liked was just clarity. Like just give me clarity on what's happening,
Yeah.
what's going on, and then we make a call and we move. Even if the outcome is the same, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like, okay, you know, but like I I I'm going to do this better going forward
Yeah.
is really
Same.
my takeaway from it.
Ooh, I'm in the middle of some of it that I'm just like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to handle this. And I
Yeah, it's
don't.
hard. It's hard.
Here's a
Mm,
question that I'm struggling
mm,
with. You know how
mm.
sometimes with life phases changing, and also, you know how they say some friends are for a season, and it's not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah,
like people come into your
yeah,
life for a season and then the season's done and then it just
yeah,
fizzles. But like, what if you're
correct.
just like in a different life stage or you've just the things that matter to them don't matter to you anymore
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
and you're just
We're
like
just different people
this
now.
is you're just different people and you're just like there's nothing you're not a bad person and nothing has gone
Mm,
wrong in the friendship but
mm,
I
mm,
don't need this connection like
mm,
it's not
mm,
working for me. How do you
mm.
say that to a person? Because it's different if you sleep with my husband. It's different if you
Fair.
steal money from me.
It's easier. It's easier. It's like if you're in an abusive relationship and like if someone is physically abusing you, it's clearer. It feels clearer that there's
Mm,
something wrong because there is a bruise on my face or
exactly.
because there's physical evidence of the pain, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if someone is being emotionally abused, it's almost
Mm,
harder to explain, justify, all of those things,
exactly.
you know? So
Exactly.
I think it's the same question. I think it honestly, again, for me, it's that proverbial band-aid. You just got to rip it off.
But what do you
Hey,
say?
can we go for a coffee? Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Let's go for a coffee. Because I wouldn't want this to happen to me over text. Hey, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye. Right? Like I'd be like, wait, what? What's going on? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, let's go for a coffee, or let's, if you're, I don't know, long distance friends, whatever, let's hop on a Google Meet, whatever it is. Um, and then I would explain. I would be like, hey, so this is how I am feeling about our relationship at the moment. You know, I'm feeling one, two, three kinds of way. Um, and it's making me question, how are you feeling?
Mm.
You know?
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you make this is I'm just this is how I would do it. How are you feeling? Because this is how I'm feeling about our relationship. How are you feeling? And then maybe from there, some kind of resolution can be met. And maybe that resolution is going to be like, I think maybe we're just different people. It's been great, but maybe it's time to call it. You know,
True.
it's a it's a but I think that that is still a gentler way
Yeah.
than dodging, than
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
ignoring,
yeah.
than weirdly pulling back. That's
Yeah.
better than doing it that way. It's still gonna
Yeah.
suck. And this is what I said
It
before.
is
Like,
gonna suck,
there's no
yeah.
way to nicely break up with anyone, romantic or
Mm.
otherwise. There's
Mhm,
no nice
mhm,
way to do it.
mhm.
Um, or rather, let me say, there's no way to do it in the way that it won't feel sore.
Yeah, it's gonna be sore. So I
Yeah.
guess the takeaway is you've gotta choose your sore. Like,
Choose.
do you wanna stretch this out and come across as being mean and being cruel and dodging and all of
Mm,
that stuff? That's gonna be sore as well. Or do you wanna
mm.
just rip it off, get through
Rip the
it,
band.
heal, and then everybody
Mm.
can move on? It's gonna be sore one
Correct.
way or the other, but then you get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
choose what that looks like.
What that looks like.
Mm.
Um, I want to close with unpacking one more point,
Okay.
and it's this idea of, you've touched on it actually already a little bit, but it's this idea of reconnection. Is
Mm.
there space for reconnection after a friendship breakup? I think that's a very broad question because really it depends on why we broke up to begin with. But what does that look like? How is that processed? And I'll preface this by saying that for me, if I go back to my example now, I left that friend with an open door that was like, okay, um, you are still needing to process your emotions or
Mm.
whatever it is, and you'll come back to me. Okay, let me know because I'm very confused about what's going on here. You know, like, let me
Mm.
know. I'm open to hearing from you. That was one of the last messages that I
And
sent this
are you
person.
still?
For a long time after that, I was. But I've
Mm.
now reached a point where I've processed the hurt of that. I've
Mm.
healed from the hurt of that.
Mm.
And I don't, I have now shut the door for that reconnection.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to lie. Like, for me, that door is definitively closed.
Yeah.
You know, and because of how it all went down, because of how I was treated, because of how it felt, whether intentionally or unintentionally, it was so sore. um and I'm now done. I've processed, I've healed. That door is closed. And so
Mm.
I don't want to hear from this person. I don't want this person to reach out. I don't want this person to suddenly have a moment of epiphany and be like, oh, hey, let's talk about what went down. Because the window for me for that
It's a little bit late for that now.
It's closed. Because for me, what it would feel like is you pulling me back into a place
Mhm.
of pain that I have successfully made my way out of.
Yeah.
And to pull me back now feels unfair. You
Yeah.
had your moment. I made myself available for months to talk about
Mm.
it.
Mm.
It's done now, you know?
Yeah.
So for you and this friend that hurt you, like if they were to come back to you and be like, hey, let's talk, let's reconnect. Like, is there space for reconnection? What are the boundaries for reconnection?
Mm.
And when do you entertain it and when do you not?
Look, to be honest, this is a case by case basis, like Cassie
Of
said.
course,
Like
yeah,
it all
yeah.
depends. For me, I feel like because of the way I handled it, I'm also at fault. Like
Mm,
I didn't you apologized and I accepted your apology, but then you went on to do the same thing two more times.
multiple
And
times.
so I'm just like, this is how you feel about me, and it's okay.
Mm,
But those should have been words that were spoken out, to her.
mm,
But because I didn't do that, I feel like I chose a path and now I need to stick to it. Like I chose to
mm,
walk away and I chose to close the door. I feel like I
mm.
need to be okay with that and I need to keep it pushing because it
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be unfair if now, after all of this water has passed under the bridge, now I'm coming back to her to be like, this thing that you did 5 years ago hurt me
Mm.
this way is why I did this, and maybe now we can reconnect. Because 'Cause I'm looking at it, because
Mm,
I'm giving like a second perspective. 'Cause from your end, you're like, you had to heal from what was done to you, like from how this friend shut the door in your face, and you
yeah,
climbed out
yeah.
of that, and now you're like, "No." Her coming
I'm
back to
not going
you would be
back.
exactly. I feel like
Mm,
on my end, because I'm the one who did this to her, like, I'm
mm,
not allowed to go back. Like, I can't
mm,
just decide that, okay, I've finally now healed from this thing you did to me and now I want to talk to you. What if it took you so long to heal and you've only just made your peace with it, but now I'm going to drag
yeah.
you back into this thing? Like, I
Mm,
feel like that would be unfair.
mm,
If she reaches out, I don't know that I want to go back to being friends either. And that's the
mm,
other thing I was gonna say. Like, if I'm not sure that I want us to fix this thing and build it, then why am I entertaining it?
mm,
Just I closed the door, I've closed it, and I've moved on. It's not like we're not friendly, or I wouldn't say hello, or I wouldn't
yeah,
congratulate her or whatever. We
yeah,
have that.
yeah,
We're just not
yeah,
in a circle anymore.
yeah.
And so and for me, the other thing that I've struggled with in my whole life, and I don't know if this goes back to being a child and having adults tell you, okay, go bring your shoe, I'll wait for you. And then they ditch you. Did they do that to you guys as kids? Because that
What?
was a thing in Nigeria. So like
That's so traumatic.
yes, you have like an adult come visit you, right? They come home and your family's got a vista. And then they hang
That's so
around, or
mean.
even your mom or your dad, and then they want to go out and you want to go with, but they don't want to take you. So they go,
This
okay,
is so
go wear your shoes.
mean.
So now you're running with your tiny feet into your bedroom. You're going to go look for your shoes or your flip flops or your slippers, whatever. By the time you arrive at the door, they've gone.
This is a trauma I would never be able to heal from. I'm
this
so
is
glad
how
no one ever did this to
this is
me.
how trust issues start.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Crazy.
So I don't know if it's from that, but I have serious trust issues. And
Mm,
one of the things that at first I was beating myself up about was, if I trust a person and you lose my trust, I don't know how you're gonna get it back.
sure.
I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be friendly with you,
Yeah.
but I don't know how you're gonna get that trust back. And I don't know that that's a
Yeah.
good thing per se. I feel like
Mm,
there needs to be a little bit more flexibility, but that's my major issue with all of my friendship breakups. It's that
mm,
I trusted someone with information, or I trusted someone with something. I trusted you with my personal life, and then you broke that trust. And so I walked
mm,
away from it. Like, I
mm,
don't know how you fix that. So for me, there is
mm,
no coming back.
mm, mm, mm,
So
mm.
Let's not
I
pretend that we are something that we are not, because if I
correct.
don't trust you,
Correct. Why what are we doing?
exactly, what are we
What are we
doing?
doing? What are we doing? I definitely agree with a lot of what it is that you've said. Um, and I think it really does it will be case by case. And it's but I think that there are some things you can't come back from. Like
Yeah,
there are
of
some
course.
things that happen that you and those things will be different for different people. Like someone
Mm.
might can do something to me that I can come back from, but you
Yeah.
will not be able to, and
Yeah.
vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so some things you can't come back from. And it's definitely gonna need to be a case by case basis. But I think for me, the important thing, and this is the lesson that I have learned, is as someone who's come from a place of thinking about other people before I think about myself, and willing
Mm.
to put myself in a situation where I'm uncomfortable so that you are comfortable. Like
Yeah.
coming from that perspective, and if you are someone who is like that, I just want to give you the grace and the freedom to put yourself first
Yes,
in that
ma'am.
situation, to set
Mm.
whatever boundary you need to set, to put in place whatever system that needs to be put in
Mm.
place to
Mm.
protect your own heart, your own mind, your own mental health, your own emotional health, whatever it
Mm.
is. So
Mm.
um yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
be that would be my thoughts there.
Yeah. Shoot,
Mm.
it's difficult, but you'll be okay. One way or
Whew!
the other, you'll be okay.
One way or the
You'll
other,
be
all will
okay.
be well.
Mm.
So yeah, that's it. Friendship breakups. So tough sometimes, actually all the
Mm.
times.
All the
So tough.
time.
But yeah, come say hi on socials. Let us know about your friendship breakup stories. What worked, what didn't work, what was sore, what was not sore. Do you need somewhere to vent about it? Drop us a DM. We want to hear. You can come say hi on socials, like I said. You can also find us on Spotify and on Apple. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe anywhere and everywhere you find your podcasts. Also, you can watch and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, love you. Bye.